Hey everyone, I'm Mind, and this is set number 80050, Creative Vehicles from the LEGO Monkey Kid theme. This set contains 390 pieces, 2 minifigures, and retails for $34.99 in the US. After you're done watching this video, if you want to see more of my 2024 LEGO Monkey Kid reviews, go check out my playlist in the description below. And now, with all that being said, let's get into this review. So this set's somewhat of a spiritual successor to Monkey Kid Staff Creations, which is a set that came out a few years ago. That one I believe was the same price, right? $35 in the US, and came with 3 vehicles just like this one. The vehicles are built somewhat modularly, so you could take them apart and swap the parts around, but there is some pretty big differences between that set and this set. For one, that one's a little more modular, like you could turn something into a car or a plane or whatever. This one you pretty obviously have the one that is the car body, the one that is the plane body, the one that is the boat body. And then the other difference is these aren't meant to be made from Monkey Kid Staff, at least to my knowledge. So it doesn't have the giant staff parts coming out the front and back. That was cool in Monkey Kid Staff Creations, don't get me wrong, I love that in that set, but it's neat to see them mix it up a little bit, and not make this exactly the same thing. Another cool thing that this one does that one doesn't is there's actually an alternate build where you can combine all the different parts of these together into one giant build, which I will be doing later in this video. For now though, let's take a look at each of these builds up a little bit closer, so you can see all the details of each one. So we'll start with this one, which is the boat, and immediately you can see there's lots of different stickers used. These just add some like mechanical texturing to it, but I do think it helps a lot. Really ties the entire build together. We do have stud shooters on this build, which of course you push down on, stud shoots out. And then there's this trans-clear windshield piece and a seating area at the back, where you can sit down Monkey Kid to actually drive the boat. There's like an engine with exhaust out the back, and they use these ray gun pieces with fire coming out, I guess to be little thrusters. And that's actually super cute, I love the use of that part. But you can see a little bit of the modular aspect here too, because yeah, there's just clips out the back, and that's how you can attach it to the bodies of the other vehicles. Which when it's not attached does look a little bit awkward, but I guess you could store accessories there when you're not using them if you wanted to. But I think this is fairly cute overall. I don't know if we've gotten a Monkey Kid boat before, like in this color scheme, so that is neat to see. And if you're curious, here's how Monkey Kid looks actually riding the boat. I will say it makes the boat look very small with him in it, but hey, I mean, it's one of 3 builds in a $35 set. I can't complain too much. Now, before we move on to the next one, let me show you how this one comes apart, the actual modular aspect. I can take these sort of like wings off the side. You can see they just have clips on them to connect to the body. And the body uses these gold connector pieces with bars on them. Those were used in the original Monkey Kid Staff Creation set, and I know they're used in a lot of LEGO City sets too. Gold might be a new color for them, I actually don't remember. But regardless, cool to get that part. And pretty much every piece in this set connects in the same way. So this back part can come off the same way. There you can see it's got clips on it. This sort of wing piece on the other side also comes off, and the entire front of the build comes off too. Here's the body that you're left with, very, very basic, like super rectangular. But now if you want to rearrange these pieces or move them around to the other builds, that's an option you have. The next vehicle we have is a jet, and it's very similar to the other one. Obviously, we have these giant engines on the side, which are definitely the coolest part. Harpoons coming out the back, which is pretty cool too, as well as a little tail right here. And the engines are using the Monkey Kid cloud piece as the exhaust, which yeah, makes sense for this theme. That comes in lots of sets. Once again, we have a white chair piece for Monkey Kid to sit down on. And here's how he looks piloting this vehicle. He fits a little bit better here, but even still, these vehicles do feel very small. Now, this build does have these tan Technic pins coming out the back, and I have to say, these are super ugly. There is a reason for it, which you'll see in a moment. It's part of the combiner build. But if you're not planning on combining this build, I'd honestly recommend taking those off, just because they really don't look great. They're honestly very ugly, but I do understand their purpose. But I don't think I have too much else to say on this one. It is just a Monkey Kid vehicle. You got the red, you got the yellow, you got the teal. So now let me show you how this one comes apart too. The nose of the jet comes off at the front. You can see it just connects on with the clips. The tail can also disconnect in the same way. There's how that looks removed. And then each of the engines on the side can also be pulled off. And you can see they connect up a little bit higher, but it's still the same system. The jet body with everything removed is not too different from the other one we looked at. Obviously a bit of a different shape. It goes up a little higher at the back, and I do prefer the shape of this body, but yeah, still very rectangular. And here's all the parts of this one, separated but all together. And then the final vehicle is a car, which is probably the simplest one, but also probably is my favorite. Like, cars are a very common thing in LEGO Monkey Kid, but hey, I gotta admit, this looks good. It reminds me a lot of Monkey Kid's Cloud Roadster, though obviously in a much smaller scale. And I especially love like this engine section back here with all the exhaust too. It looks very cool. The nose of the front's neat as well. I like the use of the flag pieces. And then it uses like one of these large cockpit bubble pieces, which has been coming in LEGO Star Wars sets for years. But it's cool to see it in Monkey Kid as well. And yeah, plop him in here, you can hold onto the steering wheel, close it back up around him, and there you go, there's Monkey Kid in the vehicle. There is a tiny little gap when you close this all the way up, which that kind of thing has never bothered me, but I know there is some people who that really bothers, so I try to always point it out for those people. Not saying it's a bad thing that bothers you, I'm just saying it doesn't personally bother me. But yeah, there's a little bit of a gap in there, so Monkey Kid is not fully enclosed. And now let me take this one apart too. So once again, the nose of the front comes off. These little yellow builds on the side also come off. There's how that looks removed. Car without all those things looks a little bit silly. And then also you can remove part of the engine section at the back. Not the entire thing, like this part's still here. But yeah, this entire section comes off. And then here's the body of the car with all that removed. However, technically there's still one more thing that comes off, because the set does talk about removing the wheels too. So those come off super easily. This is definitely the vehicle body that has the most personality. And here's all the parts to this one laid out. So now that I've taken all three vehicles apart, let me show you how they combine to make one giant spaceship build. Now, of course, you don't have to make the giant build. You can just mix and match. All these parts are compatible with all the bodies, and while they may not all look good, you can play with it and change things around. That being said, there's an official orientation to combine all of these together, so let me show you how you go about doing that. So it seems that Monkey Kid stays in this body at the front. I'm sorry, I was missing these two parts. But yeah, we attach the noses of the other two vehicles, so that one first, then this one at the front. We're gonna leave the wheels off the back. We're attaching a second engine back here. We're clipping both other vehicle bodies in back here, just side by side like this. Then we're gonna attach the back of the car behind them, then the nose of the car right here, the tail of the plane behind that, both sides of the boat to this back section right here. And then these yellow pieces that came off the sides of the car on top of those, of course one on each side. And then we attach the thrusters from the plane after that to those pieces that we just added. Again, those go on each side. And finally, we use all those Tactic pins that were sticking out. So we attach the big wheels right here, the small wheels right here, and then we do the same thing on the other side with the remaining two wheels. And there we go, that's all the vehicles combined to make a giant spaceship, and I'm gonna be honest, this looks a lot better than I was expecting. Like, genuinely, the scale's quite cool, and I like that there's chairs at the back to sit two more minifigures if you want. You do get the Monkey King minifigure in this set. You would have to remove his tail to put him in the chair if you wanted to, but that is definitely an option you have. Or you can just use figures from your own collection. But yeah, this is genuinely kind of awesome. I like to use the wheels as like giant thrusters, and the two bodies side by side work really well. I will say this back section doesn't look the best. Now, to my knowledge, there's not actually official instructions for this, so I was just going off images. So I could have built this wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is correct based off what I saw. Actually, wait, maybe those last two need to be swapped around. Okay, yeah, that's probably how it is. That looks a bit better. But yeah, this is quite a fun alternate build. It makes the entire set a lot more interesting. Without this, I would have said it was just average, but with this, I think it's genuinely a lot of fun. This is cool to display on a shelf, and also makes for a very fun toy. I like this a lot. But of course, that's not everything in this set. We still have the minifigures to look at, so now let's take a look at them. Here are the two minifigures in this set. We have an all-new version of Monkey Kid, as well as an all-new version of Monkey King. And these two are absolutely awesome. I love these figures. They might be my favorite part of this set. So you can see these are all new outfits, because these are the characters in, like, mechanics outfits, because of course they're building these vehicles, so they're dressed for the occasion. Monkey Kid's is cool. He's in, like, a full mechanics get-up, but he's still using his main color of that bright orange. In terms of accessory, he comes with a coin piece with the number 5 on it, which is just a standard LEGO accessory, though it has a second meaning in the set because it's Monkey Kid's 5th anniversary, so that's a little printed tile to celebrate that. He also has a wrench, which makes a lot of sense. And then the face print I don't believe is new. It could be because Monkey Kid has a lot of very similar faces, so it might just be similar to an old one, but I don't recognize it as new. And back torso print has the standard Monkey Kid logo, though with metallic silver teeth instead of white teeth. There's like the back face print too, just like a neutral stern expression. And his headband hairpiece does not have printing on it, which we have gotten before, but with printing is definitely more common. So it's cool to have another way to get it without the printing. But yeah, this is a quite cool minifigure who I very much appreciate. Super nice to get an exclusive minifigure in such a cheap set. But then Monkey King I think is even cooler, because he's wearing the same uniform as MK. In fact, he has the same exact leg piece, but you can see he's taken off his jacket and wrapped it around his waist. So now he's in like a tank top instead with a necklace, and this is just such a cool look for Monkey King. Not something we've seen before at all, but such a cool variant to get. Like, I really love this. In terms of accessory, he has a golden crowbar, which is nice to get, as well as the new Peach piece for this year, and I believe this is the cheapest set that the Peach piece comes in. So if you want to get that piece, this is a super great way to do it. And then yeah, he's got like that cloud symbol on a little necklace. Face print, again, I don't believe is new. I think that's just the standard face print, but he's happy on one side and a little surprised on the other, and he's got the same symbol as Monkey Kid around the back. But man, what cool exclusive figures. I love these two. Absolute highlights of this set, and they really do a lot for it. So overall, would I recommend this set? Honestly, yeah. This is probably my second favorite of the wave after Megapolis, which I wasn't expecting to say based on pictures, but no, this one is genuinely really good. Now, I will say it's definitely better for kids than for older collectors. If you're just someone who collects purely for display, there's probably better options out there. Personally, I like displaying something like this on my shelf, but I get that it's not going to be for everybody. But for kids and for play especially, I think this is really good. Getting 3 vehicles is great, and I love that they can all combine, and the combined model genuinely looks very cool. And the minifigures in this set are fantastic as well. So cool to get these variants. experience. So if you're a longtime fan of Monkey Kid, I think this is a great set to get, especially because it is on the cheaper side of things. Or if you're just getting into Monkey Kid for the first time, like you're curious about the theme but never bought a set before, I think this could be a pretty good one to start with, because you get lots of fun builds, 2 really good minifigures, and the entire thing is a relatively cheap price. So of course, not going to be for everybody, but this is definitely up there for me. I think this set's incredibly well done, and it's one I like a lot. But of course, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think of this set in the comments below. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, if you want to see more 2024 Monkey Kid reviews, go check out my playlist in the description or in a pinned comment. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like on it, subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!